His lust for power and wealth have destroyed this county. He has no honor.
San Diegans lining up to tee off on County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher, getting a chance to speak in public about accusations he sexually harassed a former MTS employee. And between in-person attendees and emails, there were more than 100 people who wanted to express their disappointment, anger, and frustration with his alleged behavior. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt, and it wasn't just the public that blasted Fletcher. Today's colleagues took a vote of no confidence, all agreeing he should step down now.
He has let his constituents down, he has let San Diego County down, and now he needs to resign and step down immediately.
We have team coverage for you. My co-anchor Wale Aliyu is live at the county administration building. Wale, the other supervisors made it clear that one way or another, Nathan Fletcher will not get to take part in running San Diego County anymore.
It made it very clear indeed, Kimberly. While the vote, though, was a powerful statement of unity in the board, it was largely ceremonial. The board cannot actually force District 4 Supervisor Nathan Fletcher out of office, but the other supervisors said they will not hold any more votes if Fletcher returns and tries to participate. Now, Fletcher has already agreed to resign in mid-May following inpatient treatment for PTSD and alcohol abuse. This is all from fallout of sexual assault and harassment accusations against Fletcher from Gracia Figueroa, a former MTS employee. Fletcher was the chair of the MTS board at the time. Now, Figueroa is also suing Fletcher. Fletcher denies the accusations and calls the interactions with Figueroa consensual. All right, so we are going to be digging into a lot more of what all of this means now and going forward. Right now, though, we want to begin with ABC 10 News reporter Austin Gravish, who is joining us live. Austin, even Fletcher's former political allies on the board agree that Fletcher needs to leave right now.
That's right, Wale, and they were united in their vote this morning, saying they have no confidence in Nathan Fletcher, who was a rising political star in San Diego just a few weeks ago.
Good morning again. We're now going to call the April 11th San Diego County Board of Supervisors special meeting.
A rare meeting Tuesday by the San Diego County Board of Supervisors.
It is clear to me that the only way to move forward is without Supervisor Fletcher on this board.
The politicians voting unanimously that they have no confidence in one of their own, Nathan Fletcher.
We have too much work to do for more than 3.3 million residents in San Diego County to be diverted by the actions of a board member who isn't here to answer to them.
Fletcher's whereabouts are unknown. His office says he is out of state getting treatment. Treatment, Fletcher says, is for PTSD, alcohol abuse, and trauma.
Nathan Fletcher, resign immediately.
Calls for the politician to resign immediately grew louder Tuesday. The special meeting about him attended by many members of the public. Fletcher is on medical leave from the county, a leave he announced just 2 days before a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault and harassment became public. The allegations from a former MTS employee who worked for the transit organization while Fletcher was its board chair. Fletcher maintains his innocence and says his interactions with the woman were consensual. One of the many who want Fletcher gone now and not on May 15th when his leave ends is Jim Desmond.
This May 15th date is the one that he arbitrarily came up with, and that technically he could pull it back and say, nope, I'm going to stick around. So that's the conundrum we're in right now.
The supervisor says one reason Fletcher should leave now is so that he can't vote for the county's new chief administrative officer. Desmond says the supervisors have made a job offer to a candidate, but since Fletcher was involved in the hiring process, he wants it to start all over again from scratch.
We should start over and start looking for a CEO that does not have his input or his feedback on who to hire and who not to hire.
And the supervisors will be voting on whether to hire a new CAO on May 2nd. Now, Desmond tells us he hopes by that time that Fletcher will have listened to these calls to step down and resign immediately. Now, as for Fletcher's exact whereabouts, we do not know where he is, and that is because his office has refused to tell us. All his office has told us is that he is out of state getting treatment. We have asked the name of the location as well as the state, and we keep getting the same one-line answer that Fletcher is not able to answer those questions because he is in treatment. Reporting live downtown, Austin Grabish, ABC 10 News.
Fletcher's office staying quiet with media, but I have no doubt they have been following today's vote very closely. Austin, thank you very much. Well, earlier today, I spoke with San Diego City Council member Vivian Moreno from District 8. That district includes communities such as Barrio Logan and San Isidro. She was one of the first local leaders to call for Fletcher's resignation. I asked her why she was so outspoken from the start.
To start off with, I have an obligation, right, as an elected official, and I take my obligation very seriously. I knew the same thing everybody else knew. I knew what you knew, which was very little. But I think it was enough for me to say that it's time for him to resign. It was enough for me to say that I'm not confident in him being a supervisor in the region, and so I asked him to step down. I was the first elected Democratic official to ask him to step down. It's not, you don't look forward to doing things like this, especially, I wish I wasn't doing something, I wish I wasn't asking an elected official to step down, but unfortunately, his behavior has moved me to ask him to step down.
And there is agreement, according to the vote this morning, 4-0. Your reaction to that unanimous vote?
I'm not surprised. I'm happy that it was taken. I think that it was a good move on the supervisorial's position. As I mentioned, we're elected officials, right? We serve at the pleasure of our constituents. We serve at the pleasure of the residents of the city of San Diego, in my case, and in their case, in the county of San Diego. So we're beholden to our constituents, right? And what is going to be for the betterment of our constituents, for me as a woman, I mean, it's to ask a perpetrator to step down.
All right, and let me just ask you, obviously this vote doesn't have any power other than just kind of going on record. There's no power to force him to step down. Do you think the vote will make a difference?
I think so. I think it will apply pressure to Mr. Fletcher. And at the end of the day, yeah, we are elected by our constituency, and our constituency is the one who can elect to remove us from the position. It's up to him to do the right thing, and that is to resign. So that is what I asked of him, and I hope he resigns.
All right, let's take you to how we got here. Before all of this, Fletcher was seen as a rising star in Democratic politics. Here's a quick look at his political career right now. In 2008, we'll start there. After a decade in the Marines, Fletcher was elected to the state assembly as a Republican for District 75. Then in 2011, he ran for San Diego mayor, placing third in the primary. He then switched parties from a Republican to first an independent and then a Democrat. Now, in 2013, as a Democrat, he ran again for mayor and lost. In 2017, he married then Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, forming a political power couple. And in 2018, he won a District 4 County Board of Supervisors seat. He became the board's chair and became the county's face of its pandemic response. And he had announced a bid for state senate in February before withdrawing amid these allegations. All right, so coming up at 5:30, we're going to talk money. We will look at the hundreds of thousands of dollars Nathan Fletcher had already raised for his run at state senate and what he can and cannot do with that money. Until then, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Kimberly.
All right, thank you, Wale.